to take a quick second to talk about something that most of us probably has engaged in at one time or another, but is not conducive to our well-being overall. What am I talking about? You got it. Worrying about the wrong shit. What is worrying about the wrong shit? Of course, you have to use your discretion as to the things that you ultimately concern yourself with or don't concern yourself with. But one question you need to make sure you're always posing to yourself before you engage on that long journey of worrying about something is, what I'm worrying about something that I can control? Is what I'm worried about going to add value to me at some point in the long run? Will it have been worth it? Now, again, you have to use your discretion as to what you're going to worry about. I'm going to tell you about some things I used to worry about that was the wrong shit to worry about. My number one thing that I used to worry about was what other folks thought about me. Guys, that was seriously a lifelong struggle that stifled me in so many ways, stunted my growth in so many ways, that I really feel like I'm just playing catch up on life. Now, when I say not worrying about what folks think about you, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I'm removed from emotion, or that you should be removed from emotion, or that you should not experience the full range of emotions that humans can feel, from anger to sadness to happiness to disappointment, what have you. I'm not saying that at all. However, what I am saying is you need to learn how to filter those kinds of things, how to compartmentalize those type of things. For instance, if your boss is saying something pretty bad about you, then yeah, you probably want to take some concern about whatever grievance they're having with you. But if Sheila from down the street, who you barely even see and have never had a conversation with, goes and tells Roxy across the street some really negative, untrue stuff about you, is it really even worth confronting? Is it even really worth getting upset about when this person doesn't know anything about you? And not only that, but this person is telling you everything you need to know about them just from them not being willing to get to know you for themselves prior to spreading a story about you. Is that someone you need to concern yourself with? Someone who has no problems being malicious to someone that they don't even know? So that's what I mean about worrying about shit, that really doesn't matter. Worrying about the wrong shit. You really got to pick your battles, because guys, if you get upset about everything that doesn't go your way or happens to you, or every time somebody does you wrong, you're going to be stressed the hell out. Not saying to excuse those things, but sometimes you just have to learn how to roll with the punches. With some things, you have to learn how to roll it off your back. And to be honest, the greatest thing that I found during my journey into not worrying about the wrong shit is not concerning myself about being right. It doesn't matter about being right. At the end of the day, I know what time it is. I know what I've contributed or haven't contributed. Again, it goes back to my last session that I did about confidence, being aware of yourself. See, when I'm aware of myself and I know all these things about me, about myself, I really don't get caught up into proving it to anyone else. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if they've already made up their mind about you that, they're going to do you some malice on some kind of level, you've already lost that person. Sometimes it's just better to let people have their thoughts. If that's what they think about you, then let them have it. It's not your business what they think of you. If you know you're not out here trying to hurt anybody, trying to harm anybody, not saying you have to be a perfect person, absolutely not, no one is. But again, when you're confident in yourself and what you have going, you're not going to find yourself getting caught up in worrying about the wrong shit, because you're going to be able to recognize that as a distraction. And sometimes these things are a distraction. Like the fussing back and forth with someone about the he said, she said stuff. I don't understand that. Personally, if the person that supposedly said it about me is supposed to be my good friend, I'm going to give my friend the benefit of the doubt. If it's bothering me enough, I'm going to come to my friend and let them know what the deal is, and we're going to go from there. If it's Sally Sue down the street who doesn't even know me, doesn't know anything about me, I'm not going to concern myself about what she thinks. Just because she and I don't have enough of a rapport for me to even care. Everyone is not going to like you. I've had people not like me because they said my titties was too big. Okay? You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea all the time, and that's perfectly fine. And as long as you're not trying to do any harm to anybody, you should go on, about your day without too much thought about it. So, the next time you come across some adversity or some kind of difficulty in your life, or somebody that's just being too extra, whether they're talking about you, whether they're trying to put your business out there in the street, whatever it is that they are trying to do to you, you need to make sure that you are keeping in the front of your mind this question: am I worrying about the wrong shit? In the long run, is what I'm upset about right now even going to matter? Is it something I can kind of work myself through without having to get confrontational about it necessarily? Is it something that, within a few hours or maybe even a few minutes, maybe even a few days, that I'll be over? And if you can answer yes to that question, then you just need to kind of work through it. So, again, this is just my observation as a person who went through life worrying about the wrong shit. Not saying you can't voice your feelings, and, when people have upset you, or, when situations don't go your way, you can't feel disappointment and whatever else may come with it. But just learn how not to get stressed out about everything. Some things are going to be beyond your control, and you're going to have to deal with it and suck it up anyway. Some things are just not even worth your attention. And that's all I'm saying. Just learn to recognize the situations that are actually worth your attention, that are actually going to have an impactful, positive, impactful effect on your life. Or those things that if you don't attend to them, they will have a negative effect in your life. But whatever you do, don't stress out about every single little thing. Because when you do that, you're just existing. You're not living. Learn to stop for a second. Look up at the sky. Look how beautiful those clouds are. Or go look at some ants crawling on a tree. You will be amazed how much we take for granted. Finding joy is about appreciating the small things. And when you're able to appreciate the small things, you find that joy comes to you a lot more often. And so that's something I'm wishing for all of you. Joy and peace of mind. So until next time, guys, I'll see you soon.